Yeah, cool. So I think first of all I really enjoyed Kasha's story. I think my story is gonna be similar to his story. Basically just what I've experienced since I came to Australia. So the first one it's also two stories sort of combined into one story. The first one was when I had first just arrived in Australia. I was like 13 years old, and I remember exploring the city in Brisbane City one day and just checking out everything. And I had such a good day. My English wasn't great, but I always tried my best to sort of communicate with everyone, you know. Um, I remember it was in the afternoon. I had to go home, and the bus platform had so many different buses. So I had absolutely no idea which bus to catch, you know. So I was sort of just like going through my luck to sort of find my way home. And I remember waiting in line in the bus station underneath the Maya Center. I was just waiting, and there was this bus that had just arrived with lots of people getting on the bus. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to ask the bus driver where this bus goes. So maybe it goes to the destination that I'm going. So I waited. I make sure that everyone sort of, you know, got on the bus first before I get on, because I thought if I was gonna ask the question, I don't want to hold up the line behind me. So I thought let's wait till everybody gets on the bus, and then ask that question. So I got on the bus finally, and everyone's sitting down, and I just asked the bus driver just a simple question. I just asked him, does this bus go to the destination that I was going to? And I was in shock because he just yelled at me and he said, "You're all fucking stupid." I was 13 years old. Um, and this is the first time I'm actually telling this story because I think it affected me so much. Um, After that, um, everyone just looked. No one said anything, and I was in shock. I was a kid. I was 13. I was so shaky that I just jumped off the bus. I just left the bus. I just sat and I just started crying. And I think that moment I will always remember. And I didn't know what to say back to the bus driver because I wasn't good at English. I wasn't sure how to express myself to say, hey, that's not okay. But thinking back, it's like nobody stood up for me. I was a kid. I wasn't even so I just basically what happened was I just sat on the bus platform and waited till I calmed down, and then I eventually got home. But that was my very first encounter of racism since I've been in Australia. So that was like, I never really told anyone that story because I was so afraid to tell that story to people. But I thought tonight is such a good, with the subject that we're talking about. And the other time was, this is years after, so I'm all grown up now. I remember I'm seeing this guy and he's Caucasian. It doesn't really matter where a guy is from. I think if I think he's hot, he's hot. It doesn't matter. Like, to me, race doesn't matter, right? So anyway, we going out and we were out clubbing in Cloudland in Brisbane. It's a club. And I went to the bathroom. When I came back, it was like two girls sitting with him and talking to him. Like, I think they're middle-aged Caucasian woman. Anyway, I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, it's no big deal to me. People are out clubbing. Like, people talk to everyone all the time. I come back, I sit down, and then he was like, oh, yeah, this is my girlfriend, Jay. Like, we'll date. So he was introducing me to the girls. They just looked at him, and they say to him, you're going out with her? she's Asian. Legit, in front of my face. That's what they said. I just I cannot even believe it. And I was, you know, obviously I was all grown up, so I knew how to stand up for myself. And he immediately obviously stood up for me. Like, you know, he's like, you guys are so, you know, like, so he took me out of that situation pretty much straight away, and he stood up for me. But we're talking about like 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. We're not talking about that long ago. So it's like, now that I see everything that's happening around the world, I know I'm not black. I know I'm Asian, but like I feel so much hurt inside of me the last few weeks, just because it's just not okay, and enough is enough.